What a comeback! What a comeback for Marvel Tokons, or in the spirit of the World Cup, what a remontada. It is honestly ridiculous, and this is one of the biggest 180s that I have seen for a fighting game during development in recent memory. It is really special. When Marvel Tokons first got revealed, this game was super exciting for everyone. Everyone wanted more Marvel. The Marvel vs. Capcom series obviously had great legacy, and you may know my channel as like a Street Fighter channel, but I played a ton of Marvel vs. Capcom back in the day, and even if you stick around during like my oldest videos, you may see a couple of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite clips here and there. So I was always a fan of the Marvel vs. game, and while this is not technically like a Marvel vs. game, it is in the spirit of Marvel. It's a tag fighting game, so everyone was really excited and everyone was looking forward to Marvel Tokons Fighting Souls. The prospect of a tag fighter that is entirely Marvel was really exciting, and everyone was hype, and they announced the game looked beautiful. But when people got their hands on the game and they got to play it with the open betas that they were provided, it seems like the public opinion on Marvel Tokons was switching to become relatively negative and that is me putting it mildly. People were really disappointed, and I'm gonna speak from my own personal experience. I don't want to put words in someone else's mouth, but as a general feel that I got from the game was that the game felt a little bit too repetitive and a little bit too restrictive, which ultimately made it feel clunky. I feel like is the best way to put it. It felt like you're trying to steer a wheel with your legs instead of your hands. Like the game felt not quite as smooth, as intuitive as you would like it to be. And obviously there were other issues like the auto combos on whiff, and that was like really a frustrating part of the game. The combo system in general was kind of restrictive, and we spent a lot of time, like from the reveal to them revealing the X-Men roster, we spent months and months with the game only revealing 8 characters, and with all of that weight, people were starting to lose faith. So they were like, maybe this game is not gonna be all that hot. And you have to remember that during recent memory as well, we had seen games like City of the Wolves that came out and was a little bit disappointing. We saw 2XKO, a game that had massive potential. People were really looking forward to it, but then when it finally came out, there was at least like a lot of disappointment on, especially when you think what 2XKO could have been. The game ended up being not nearly as taking the fighting games into the main spotlight as people would have hoped. And obviously with the beta there was also the Avatar Legend Alpha going on, and that was really catching everyone's eye. Everyone was having a lot of fun over there, where Marvel Tokons, people felt kind of cold about it. But the devs were absolutely cooking, because they came back swinging. We got the X-Men trailer, and this is where hope was starting to rebuild again, because everyone was like, alright, maybe the gameplay is not fantastic, but alright, we're seeing characters. I mean, we're getting Wolverine, we're getting magic that looked really cool. Danger, alright, we're gonna take it. And it started then at that point where people were like trying to break down the game, and oh my god, is tagging a little bit faster, and everyone is like counting frames, and wait, were they able to call an assist while not in the neutral? And I love that phase where people are speculating whether the devs have actually changed the mechanics based on the feedback, and they haven't yet confirmed it at that point, and everyone is anticipating, and people really want to get excited, people really want to be happy, but they're waiting, and finally they did reveal that yes, we changed the game, we listened, and oh my god, I am so thankful that the devs actually listened to feedback and tried to make the game that the fans have asked for. And you have no idea how uncommon this is among fighting game fans and among fighting games developers in general. And I totally get it. Like when you are designing a game, obviously you have a vision of what you wanna do, and a big part of it is ego as well. It is always the feel of, we know better, this is a game that we wanna make, but sometimes there are some red flags, and if everyone is agreeing, or most everyone is agreeing that guys, something doesn't quite feel right here, I am so grateful that they listen and they actually changed the game, right? And I feel like this is what set Tokons apart from a lot of other fighting games is that the developers actually listened. Like, they listened and tried to improve the game. Even if the game doesn't end up being the best game of all time and the next Marvel vs. Capcom 3 where everyone's super playing it, I will always be happy that they listened. I've been calling for my OD bouncing fans to be removed for a while, take an L and accept that it cannot be designed into Street Fighter 6, but the Capcom developers will never admit to taking an L. But I'm getting way sidetracked here. The developers listened and the game is looking so much better for it. And then we start seeing characters. Alright, so like the gameplay, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot more interactive now. I can call my assists, I can be creative. What? I can do combos with my unique assists now. That is so cool. They improved the combo system. They made tagging more convenient, I should say, and faster. Less downtime, less stage transitions. Amazing. This is all amazing news that you love to see. But then we were like, okay, but the roster, what about the roster? What are you cooking for us? And thankfully, I will say they did not disappoint. I love the roster of this game. Now, I had my picks. There are characters that I still would love to see, like Daredevil. I want to see She-Hulk. I want to see Emma Frost. Maybe Rogue. Maybe Cyclops. There are characters that I do want, and I already made a video on characters that I want, actually. But they gave me some that I did. Like, for example, Green Goblin. The villain's trailer, the villain roster was absurd. Like, this was honestly, honest to God, for me, MC Mura, this was one of, if not the dream team of villains that I would have wanted. Like, if you asked Mura what is the perfect, if you're gonna pick like 4 or 5 villains roster, this was the perfect pick. Magneto, who finally looks like Magneto, I must say. Magneto and Spider-Man, I've always hated how they played in the Marvel games, not because they were bad characters, but it doesn't feel true to them. I would say especially Magneto. I don't know why Magneto need to have like a 3-frame dash and be like all kung fu. Magneto should be able to manipulate magnet and manipulate metal, right? And be like a zoner and throw stuff. I see Magneto throwing a car at you and I'm like, alright, that is Magneto. And that was really, really cool. And then we got the latest trailer yesterday at EVO, where they showed Blade, which looked amazing. Like, oh my god. Because I'm gonna be honest, after playing Marvel Rivals, I was really sour on Blade because I hate how he operates in that game. But then Arc made Blade, like, Blade looks so freaking cool, it's unbelievable. And then we got Loki, which I didn't really expect him to because the game doesn't have Thor, so having a Marvel game with Loki but not Thor is certainly a choice, but he looks incredible as well. And I really always, in fighting games, I love the characters that are able to steal moves from others, and that was always cool, and Loki is fantastic. I thought maybe they would do Rogue, which is able to steal abilities, but Loki would be like really, really cool for that as well. And obviously Deadpool, and I also love the design for Deadpool in the game. Deadpool is full of fighting game love. I did not expect to see Deadpool doing the Johnny Cage nut punch. That made me laugh my ass off. And then there's obviously like the spear and the uppercut and the Jaco pose and the Doom foot dive. It's just a love letter to everything fighting games, and that was honestly one of the coolest things to happen to the character. So we already played the game, we know the netcode is really, really good, we know that the game had potential to be fun. Thankfully they took away a lot of what made the game doesn't feel intuitive. It probably feels a lot better. They are doing an open beta that will also have the PC, so everyone is gonna be able to play it. That is really, really exciting, and they came off with amazing characters. I feel like this is exactly the reason that everyone is now super hyped for Marvel Tokons, and it is the opportunity that I wish 2XKO had done. Had 2XKO waited until they have more characters in the roster, people probably would have seen the game in a much better light instead of launching it in a bare bones state and then treating it as like a live service, and just all of the general public opinion on the game doesn't feel to the point where it should have been. I'm glad Marvel Tokens had the opportunity to double down. Alright, let's get to work, let's fix it, let's add more incentive to tags, let's make tagging faster, fix the game more intuitive, and deliver a kick-ass roster. The roster in this game, I know that will obviously have the character that Marvel wanna push, like Penny, like Magic, and I get that, that's totally fine, but also it have insane fan favorites, good healthy mix, and some characters that I think was long overdue to be in a fighting game, like Blade, like Green Goblin. So I'm really looking forward to this game. If you're watching my channel for the past couple of years, you know that I do my videos, my skits, my subscriber counts, where I will tell like I will have like Emma, I will have X-Men characters, you know I'm all about that stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it, and I have huge plans for Marvel Tokons. It's a game that I'm gonna try to take seriously because I really enjoy the beta. So if the game is gonna be more intuitive and gonna be playing better, sounds like music to my ears. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Marvel Tokons so far? Are you excited for the game? Do you have some doubts about it? I would love to hear your thoughts about it all in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.